key to being rich.
Tragically, there were 3 members of the U.S. Marshals Task Force who were pronounced deceased.
I live in this neighborhood for 10 years, never saw this, never thought it can even happen.
Every one of us wants to be in a situation where you get up this morning and get to come back home. And someone didn't today.
Tonight, tragedy and grief in Charlotte. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Rod Carter. 3 U.S. Marshals are dead tonight after a standoff and a shooting, and we learned just about an hour ago a 4th law enforcement officer has passed away. Charlotte-Mecklenburg police officer Joshua Iyer was shot in the line of duty today and passed away from his injuries. He had been with the department for 6 years and just last month was named Officer of the Month. And within the past half hour, we learned the identities of 2 of the marshals killed today. Samuel Sam Pelosi and William Alden Elliott worked at the State Department of Adult Corrections and were assigned to the U.S. Marshals Carolina Regional Fugitive Task Force. Pelosi leaves behind a wife and 2 children, and Elliott leaves behind a wife and 1 child. CBS 17's Mariah Ellis has been monitoring the developments all evening for us and joins us now with the latest. Mariah.
Rod, it's been a sad day here in North Carolina and across the country as people mourn the deaths of those 4 members of law enforcement. We hear officers say all the time there's no such thing as a routine day on this job. Sadly, those deaths prove how true that is. Dozens of officers and first responders rushed to an East Charlotte neighborhood. A family living near Galway Drive watched the deadly day unfold, capturing the terrifying moment when they heard gunshots.
There's no doubt that our Charlotte community has experienced a tragedy today.
It was an emotional afternoon for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, recounting the violence that left 3 members of the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force dead. 5 others were injured, including 4 Charlotte police officers. Late Monday night, one of those officers, Joshua Iyer, who's been an officer with Charlotte for 6 years, died from his injuries.
We'll always be indebted to Officer Iyer for his bravery and his sacrifice for this profession. It was just last month I was in this very room congratulating Officer Iyer for becoming Officer of the Month.
Chief of Police Johnny Jennings says the violence happened while the task force attempted to serve an arrest warrant on a convicted felon for possession of an illegal firearm. He says the suspect began shooting with a high-powered rifle. The task force shot back and killed the suspect in the front yard of the home.
We have to get a full understanding of why this occurred. The interest in the Fugitive Task Force was to ensure that this person was brought to justice and taken off the streets.
Chief Jennings says someone inside that home shot more officers. After a 3-hour standoff, police found 2 people inside, including a woman and a 17-year-old, both taken into custody for questioning. Charlotte's Mayor Vi Lyles says it's a tragic day for law enforcement in the Charlotte community.
People lost their lives today. And the most that I can ask of our community is that we honor and respect them for all the work that they've done, all the work that we will do to make it possible for our city to be safer.
Chief Jennings says they let people living in the area know it was safe around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They said they'll continue to prioritize safety. In studio, Mariah Ellis, CBS 17 News.
All right, Mariah, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in this gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a quick lesson through the Spirit. We're going to be edifying. Perilous times, man. Lawless times. This is a story I know it's been kind of circulating through the group chats the brothers have been part of, and allegedly these 4 officers was put to death, and I guess this is the suspect. Of course, it got to be a Jake looking dude with a beard. You know, they probably said, oh, he was a Hebrew Israelite or some type of, you know, the narratives always change when they want to demonize demonize Jake, you know. But the reality of it is, whatever cases may be, you know, Jake is fed up with it, man. And, you know, me personally, we don't really give a shit either way, all right? Because, I mean, cops, shit, they, being a cop in this day and age is a major risk, and you really doing yourself a disservice because people are opening up on cops. People don't respect law enforcement, you know, especially with the bad history they have with our people. You know, you got a lot of Jakes that's probably cheering this guy on, you know, because, you know, for the simple fact that, I mean, these cops are, especially this guy here. This is the one. He got a cop of the month or some shit like that. What's his name? Joshua Eber or Joshua Iyer. He just looks like a racist devil. Like he beat the shit out of Jake, pull you over, bust your tail light. You know what I'm saying? Shoot you in the back. He probably got a couple of bodies on him. You know, but I can guarantee you that, you know, these law enforcement agents, they had a lot of, the cops are dirty, man. You know. And I'm not saying what Jake did was wise because, you know, the Lord kills two birds with one stone, but there's no such thing as coincidence with Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, even if things seems to happen by a slim chance of random. At the end of the day, this is the time we're living in, and the Most High is really, really turning up the violence here. And I don't know what type of narrative they're going to give, but, you know, it's so ironic that when you look at the comment, these dim-witted ass people here, they always say, oh, why is this criminal out on the streets and this and this and this and that? But have you Edomites ever thought that maybe you're the ones that's criminal? You ever thought about maybe the reason why violence is in the world because of your nation of people? Okay, you started violent history. You started. Okay, you started a police force, a slave patrol, and you've killed people unjustly, and you've destroyed a lot of lives. So when the energy is reciprocated, then all of a sudden now, you know, it's a problem. You know, it's always like the pot calling the fucking kettle black. And that's one thing about these Edomites, all the way down, all the way up to Amalek, all the way from the common devil. You know, it's always, oh my God, how can you do this? But yet they got family and friends and law enforcement that talk all the shit about beating up Jake, putting niggas in chokeholds, putting niggas in arm bars, shooting niggas in the back, you know, locking them up for unjust charges. They go home and they talk to their families about this, and, you know, they little tobacco eating demons. I should have got that nigger, Billy. Yeah, you got that nigger. But yeah, when the fucking cop get his head blown off, then all of a sudden, you let this criminal free. Man, fuck all y'all, man, all right? The Most High doesn't give a shit about all that emotion. Okay, we're living in some dark times, and things are going to intensify. And a lot of cops are going to retire, man, because, you know, cops, they ain't really equipped to deal with this person. Especially you got somebody that shoots. It ain't fun when somebody's shooting back at you, you know. And somebody's shooting back at your ass, that's when it becomes, oh shit. You know, it's fun when you got the gun and you're the only one with it. You know, but regardless of it, man, things are happening. The Lord is turning up. And sooner than later, man, it's going to be open season on cops because, you know, taxes are going up, rents are going up, inflation. People are tired of being oppressed. You know, here you got the IRS. They want to send people these letters, but yet, you know what I'm saying, people are literally being audited by AI. You know, people are losing their homes, their jobs, rent is going up, and then you got the fucking IRS that wants to send you oppression letters to your house saying, oh, you owe us $20,000. From the past 10 years, you overly filed your taxes or you missed one W-2, so we're going to put a lien on your account. As if people ain't going through enough hell. You know, this is why we say about the squeeze. You know, Hegelian dialectus, so to speak. All right, so this is judgment from the Lord because 4 officers was killed, 4 was hurt. Okay, so in total 8 officers were injured, including 4 that lost their lives, which the 4 injured and the 4 that lost their lives, basically that's 8 officers total. 4 dead, 4 injured, of apprehension of 1 guy, which he just so happens to be a Jake. Because I was looking at people complaining about it in the comment board, and they said, well, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Let's assume he's black. Let's not assume he's black. And all of a sudden they released this image. Okay, we don't know who the guy's name is. I didn't even see a news article on it outside of the one we just watched, but allegedly this is the Jake that did it. Don't know his name, don't care to know his name, but, you know, Esau Edom may try to spin a narrative and say he was part of some black identity extremist group, and that way they can crack down on rolling on us and saying that we're violent and we want to shoot cops and all this other dumb bullshit, man, that they want to accuse us of. But let them have it, because the minute they, you know, they come for us, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to raise up a standard. So it is what it is, man. All right, but this wasn't going to be a long lesson, but this shows you Jake, if this is in fact a true story, Jake is getting tired of Esau, man, okay, because of the oppression. You know, once you continue to beat corner a cat or any particular animal, if you continue to corner them, eventually they're going to strike back, okay? And I'm not saying what this Jake did was righteous or well, I'll put it to you this way. I won't say that what he did in this society was wise or anything like that, because the Lord said when upon him, that Jake went off. I mean, went off the deep end. You ain't supposed to be out here putting cops to death and all this other crazy shit. But regardless of it, when you have a nation of oppressed people, if you continue to beat them and oppress them and put charges on them, and it just eventually, man, Esau, you're bagging yourself into a corner. You're cornering a bull. And, when Jake strikes back, it's gonna be ugly, and you're gonna feel it. And Jake is gonna come for you, devils, man. Okay, the tensions are already there. So anyway, this is the book of Genesis 49, and I'm gonna start at verses 8. It says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand should be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children should bow down to them. Because once Jake gets roused up, and that's when the other tribes are going to follow behind. Because spiritually, everybody knows that Judah is the head tribe. Okay, and Salakia, this breeze feels amazing. But everybody knows that Jake is the head tribe, man. So when Jake gets roused up and they get into Saul's den, that's when Benjamin, Levi, Issachar, Ephraim, okay, Zebulun, Manasseh, Reuben, Gad, all right, all these other tribes, this is when they all going to come forth the fourth, and they're going to come and they're going to basically do a number on you devils, man, because the world has had enough of your tyranny. You got these massive protests around these big college campuses, which I believe that's all staged. I believe that's all Antifa bullshit, basically the small hats are being attacked, and they're trying to push a narrative that the small hats are being persecuted because of the whole October 7th ordeal. But reality of it is that that can be set up to push that type of narrative to be justified on shutting down the truth, man, because the whole world is rising up against the small hats, man. So hey, it's going down. But it says, Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion and as an old lion. Who should not rouse? It says, who shall rouse him up? Because Jake is docile now, man. Okay, you look at Jake, they all cooned out. They want to be hand in hand with Esau, Edom. They scatter everybody, they timid. Jake is the last one hired, first one fired. His woman don't respect him, his kids doesn't respect him. The world hates him. And the only time the world seems to be at peace with Jake is if he's dribbling a basketball or spitting 16 bars, man, or playing sports. Other than that, the world don't have no need for the so-called black man. So the Lord is putting a spirit in Judah to rouse up, because the Lord is at the point now that the great clashing is getting ready to come between the Israelites and the other nations, mainly the Edomites. Okay? And it reads here, it says, the scepter should not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, which Shiloh is Yahushai. It says, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be, because Yahushai is going to gather all the men, all the tribes together, and we're going to basically be as a mighty men. Okay? Matter of fact, let's get that in the book of Zechariah. I believe it's Zechariah, the 9th chapter, because the Lord said he would save the tents of Judah first. Okay? And when you look at the truth, and when you look at the brothers out there on the highways and hedges, the Lord used, the men of the southern kingdom, High Priest Ariah, High Priest Yaquab, Elder Abba Bivens, King Masha. He used brothers mainly of the southern kingdom to restore the truth, man. Okay, and then after Judah woke up, then you had Ephraim, Manasseh, and then the northern kingdom. Because when you think of Judah, you think of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, because that's the house of Judah. Okay, or is known as the Jews. All right, but this is the book of Zechariah 9, and I'm gonna start at verses 12. It says, turn ye to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. And who are the prisoners? Us. The prisoners of hope is the elect, okay? Because we're the only one that's hoping for an out day of this prison, man. Okay, we searching for an out date. Okay, when Yahushua is gonna burst our bonds and loose us from this prison. That's our hope, because without that, we have no hope. This will seem like a never-ending world that's just gonna get worse and worse for our people. Police brutality, tyranny, oppression. And the list goes on. But it reads here, you prisoners of hope, even today do I declare I will remember double unto thee. When I've bent Judah, it says, when I've bent Judah for me and filled the bow of Ephraim and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, it made thee as a sword of a mighty men. Okay, and that's the point. Yahweh Shemi Hawashai is gonna make us he's gonna make us a weapon of war. But even on top of that, the Lord is gonna rise up the 2/3 too, because the 2/3 are gonna get at you crackers as well. Okay, all you devils, man, that think you're better than Jake, hey, they gonna get at you, and they gonna get at these wicked women. All right, and this is prophecy, you know. And it says, and the Lord should be seen over them, and his arrow should go forth as the lightning, and the Lord Yahweh should blow the trumpet, and should go with whirlwinds of the south. And the Lord of hosts should defend them, and they should devour and subdue with sling stones, and they should drink and make a noise though as wine, and they should be filled like bowls in the corners of the altar, man. Okay, but the scriptures say that the house of David should be like God, roughly paraphrasing it, man. I think that's Zechariah, maybe the 12th chapter, 12 and 9. Yep, this is the book of Zechariah. Yep, let's start at Zechariah 12, and I'm gonna start at verses 6. Now let's start 5. It says, and the governors of Judah should say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem should be my strength, and Yahweh of hosts their power. And it reads, it says, in that day I will make the governors of Judah like a hearth of fire among the wood, and like the torch, or it says, like the torch of a fire in a sheaf, and they should devour all the people round about, and the right hand on the left, and Jerusalem should be inhabited again in our own place, even in Jerusalem. And this ain't talking about you small hats, man. Okay, this is talking about Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the elect, his servants. All right, and it says, and the Lord should save the tents of Judah first, and the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah, because right now Judah is in a doghouse, man. Even Ephraim or other tribes don't respect so-called black men. They don't like them. You know, they don't respect them because of what the media has done, and the fact that you have situations like this, you know, cops like this, especially, you know, these were some racist devils. This guy right here, this bald head, this Mr. Bean looking motherfucker, hey, you know he wasn't right. You know he hated Jake. Him on the right, you know he hated Jake, which I look like I've seen this guy on the right before, because a lot of times they have a lot of crisis actors, man. They hire a lot of the same people to act like they're this, you know, dead cops or disgruntled members of their particular fraternal orders and all that other stuff, and then before you know it, he'll end up dead, and then he'll be on another shooting 3 months later. Wait a minute, because that guy looked familiar on the right. Looked like he's been part of a shooting before, but who knows? You know, you got this guy in the middle and you got the guy on the left, and that's even if this is true. Okay, this could be a whole scripted narrative, because honestly speaking, it looked like I've seen these cops before on a different news, bro, like on a different news station or some shit, allegedly being killed. But I don't know, it could just be my imagination, but it all looks familiar. Okay, and that's even if these cops are really dead. They could just be using this to spread propaganda, because that's what Esau does, you know. But of course, the Jake is at the forefront. So right there, man, this place is getting dangerous, man, you know. But anyway, it says, in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them that day should be as David. As we know, David was a mighty man. He was responsible for slaying tens of thousands of men in the name of the Lord. And it says, and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem, Slaki says, in that day the Lord should defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them that day should be as David, and the house of David should be as the Most High, as an angel of the Lord before them. Okay? And it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all nations that come against Jerusalem, and I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and supplications, and they shall look for me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him as one that is bitterest for his firstborn. You know, because Yahushai, you know, we teach that Yahushua was going to put on that body that he was crucified, you know, for a particular day in the kingdom. And, you know, Jake, we was going to see the era of our transgressions and what Yahushua had to go through to redeem us, you know, which is going to be a sad day in Israel. But the Lord said he was going to redeem his elect, okay? He was going to rouse up Jake. This is why when you mention Negroes, a fear goes through the land of Babylon. You know, when you mention Nat Turner, that's when Esau, he turns red, man, because they remember that. Okay, the spirit of the Lord put on Jacob to rise up and start, putting hell on Esau. That's coming back, man. Okay, like we like to say, that would be 144,000 spiritual super soldiers running around here, eventually, in due time when the Lord raises us up. So now we just have to be patient. But last precept, Isaiah 19, and I'm going to start at verses 16. It says, "In that day, Egypt should be like unto women, and it should be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he's shaking over it." Like I said, the Lord is getting ready to shake this place up. So nobody is going to be safe. No cops, no FBI, no government officials, no citizens, man, no Jakes, no Edomites, no foreigners, no mind. Nobody's going to be safe in that day if you ain't got the spirit of the Lord with you. Okay? And it says here, "In the land of Judah should be a terror unto Egypt, and everyone that make mention thereof should be afraid in himself because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he had determined against it." So that's where we at, man. Okay, the Lord is getting ready to rouse this place up, and he's getting ready to put hell on you heathens, man. But with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Lord, it's where you will edify. Until the next lesson.